Don't you know I'm loco? Good evening, ladies and gents. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to episode 1 of the Unknown Regions. I am the High Priest Etep, and right here, the place to be, reviews with all yous, even the Orthodox Jews. I am joined by the panel this evening. This is a new adventure we're taking together. Let me introduce my co-host first. He's basically the brainchild behind this whole thing. Ladies and gents, Mr. ToneDef.
It's the world's wokest warrior, primitive-sided, toxic fanboy aligned with the like-minded. What's up, everybody? How you doing out there tonight? Hope you're doing well. Esteemed gentlemen on the panel, pleasure to work with everyone. Pleasure to see everyone here, and yeah, I can't wait to get into some good discussion here about not of this earth subjects.
Stuff and things.
Yeah.
We'll talk about stuff and things. So we are joined also this evening by, up in the upper right-hand corner, he goes by the handle, that dude, that one dude, 1983, and I can't fucking read.
It's all right. We'll get hooked on phonics.
I don't know. I might need to call Marvin Gaye. Speaking of reaching out from the beyond, and we are also joined this evening by long-time listener, first-time caller, ladies and gentlemen, hail Admiral Tiberius.
English is hard, everyone.
My former co-host used to say that on a regular basis. She would say, "Words are hard." I'm trying to say it with her accent. Words are hard. It's hard. I can't quite cop that full Tennessee accent. When I can go Taika Waititi and do a Kiwi, but I can't do a Tennessee. It sounds. I don't know.
don't ruin the night by mentioning that name, please.
He's kind of out of this world, isn't he? I mean, he looks like a fucking alien, but anyway. So Tony, you have a what's that?
No one said alien. Taika Waititi looks not of this earth.
He looks not of this earth. Well, he played. Was he Korg? He was Korg, right?
Yeah.
I'm Korg. I'm a rock man. Yeah.
No, I don't even know if New Zealand qualifies as Earth anyway. No offense to the Kiwis. I'm sorry, but
when it takes you 26 hours on a plane to get somewhere, that's just too far.
Yeah,
it's not Middle Earth. I mean, it's not Middle Earth, but I mean, you know where fucking Mordor is? New Zealand? I don't know.
Probably.
So, I mean, I do want to get to Australia, though. I honestly do.
I mean, is New Zealand? I mean, it's a beautiful. I want to visit New Zealand one day. It's a beautiful country, but did they not kind of get the shit end of the stick? Just a little island next to Pedophile Island in the South Pole. All that's next to them is the barren wasteland of Antarctica. Besides all the hidden wonderful secrets of Antarctica, and I mean, they're just on this little fucking rock floating out, and I don't even know what ocean. Is that the Indian Ocean? What is that? Pacific? I mean,
it's the very bottom of the South Pacific, and then like you got, I don't even know what else you have down there except it's cold.
Yeah,
and I'm not interested.
No.
Yeah, like talk about like if you could have a country anywhere on the planet, talk about the shit end of the stick, New Zealand. God, that's all I'm saying.
I don't know. Would you rather be like New Zealand or the fucking Congo, though? I mean, just you talk about the shit end of the stick. I mean, the best thing that's ever happened to the Congo is the movie about the monkeys that don't exist.
And that was a good movie. Don't tell me otherwise.
Oh, dude, no, I fucking love that movie. Are you kidding me? I have literally watched that probably a couple dozen times, and it's one of my guilty pleasure movies.
So it's like on a scale from 1 through 10, how much do you love socialization, the Congo or New Zealand?
I mean, it's like, do you want to
pretty smart?
Do you want to keep your scalp? I mean,
or your hands?
Your hands. I mean, those fuckers are like those fucking monkeys in that cave are vicious. I mean, look what they did to Tim Curry. I mean, that motherfucker was Pennywise, and they tore his ass up.
Lewis Black said that after 26 hours on a plane going to New Zealand, he said if we'd have landed on an iceberg with 2 penguins, he said I would have performed.
He probably Yeah, I can see Lewis Black doing that. No, it's like you see wherever I visit though, I always have to weigh like how deadly is like the are the insects and the fucking bug. Like I went to the Dominican Republic, all right. Every that now y'all know what that shares a kind that shares a continent with. Okay, it is you outside of the resorts there is no bueno. Let me say that. Everybody I went with, there were 6 of us. Everybody I went with got fucking food poisoning. Now I didn't get bit by anything, but I went to Jamaica, right? Now, okay, the one thing I did real dangerous was I went out about 20, 30 feet offshore and swam about, it was about 11 o'clock at night, really drunk, when the sharks are usually like, in the water that time of night. So, yeah.
Eating the food wasn't the most dangerous?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But I mean, it's like, think about going to like Australia or New Zealand. Okay, Australia, they have, fucking kangaroos are like bigger than deer. And like we've talked to people, Tony, from Australia on the regular, that they're like, yeah, you hit those fuckers with your car, you're done,
Yeah.
And they got spiders down there the size of fucking chihuahuas. It's like, man, fuck that shit. I want to go down there, but I'm like, I'm gonna stay in like an area where I can't get eaten or stabbed by any fucking small critters.
Oh shit! You need a can of Raid and a gallon of muriatic acid to get to the hotel room.
And I mean, and then we're talking about like not of this Earth stuff when the shit on Earth here is bad enough.
More people die in Australia from koalas falling on them than are killed by coyotes in the U.S.
Fucking koalas are so cuddly looking too. Those little bastards. They like
when the teddy bears are killing you.
Are they kamikazes? Like, did they have like, dude? I want to see it. I want to see with like little kamikaze headband, fucking koalas just diving out of trees, like little koala zeros just diving out of fucking trees. I'm gonna go get my Chinese hat on. Hang on.
So,
that's.
I'm going to Google here some UFO, like Australian UFO stories, because I'm starting to think that maybe they are watching us, and that's why we're getting all the UFOs here, like in the Southwest and here in America and shit. They're not dumb enough to land in Australia. They don't have shit worse in space than in Australia, and that's why the aliens don't go there.
Well, it's like Independence Day.
Yeah.
They're afraid. Their immune systems can't handle all that shit.
Yeah,
I mean, let's just be honest. Australia has beautiful women. If you were an alien, wouldn't you want to land there?
If I'm thinking about probe value, yeah.
I mean, would you rather that or, I don't know, China?
Would I rather land in Australia or Ticklick, Kentucky? I mean, I'm going to pick Australia. In Ticklick, Kentucky. That's a real place. I'm not making that shit up either.
So is Poverty Point, Louisiana.
Hey, now. That's my home state.
With all due respect.
Poverty Point, Louisiana wishes it had poverty. It don't even have that.
There's a hell in a paradise in Michigan. I'm not talking about Traverse City and Flint either.
Is it called Michigan?
yeah. You know how long we've tried to sell the Upper Peninsula to Wisconsin?
2 for 1 on acreage.
Yep. Fucking Whitmer's like, no, you can't do that. I need to go up there. I don't want to talk about Mein Für like that. Oh, you got. Are you having any luck with any Australian not of this earth stuff, Tony?
I'm seeing some UFO sightings over Australia. So, what year was this from? It's from the Express UK. Oh, and it's from May. So maybe they did hear about the women. Let me see.
This is the only alien I've seen so far. I just wanted to use that.
I still would. I'm low, I know, but I still would.
Somebody they had Alex posted in my group. If you're in the Place to Be Reviews group on the private group on Facebook, Alex Lincoln7 posted in there today a Mary Fuck Kill that was very, very interesting. Okay, so
I didn't see it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we can fuck it. We'll do it live. Let me find my, because he replied to my comment. So it should be. He says I was waiting for you. All right. So here it is. Here's the Mary fuck kill. All right. So you start with Abby from Last of Us 2. Nyla Rose from AEW. Now, keeping in mind, Nyla Rose's name used to be Brandon, and Grace Mackenzie Davis from Terminator Dark Fate. Mary fuck kill.
Is suicide an option?
Oh God. So I said I would and God damn, this is gonna be, I said I would kill I would kill Nyla. I would fuck Abby because if it's Abby and I get it in real life, then her name is Colleen Foch and she's a CrossFitter, and I really like a chick that could lift me up over her head and help me move furniture, and I would marry Mackenzie Davis.
Yeah.
So that was mine.
I'd have to second that probably. Yeah. Just ask Mackenzie to grow her hair out or something.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, dude. Like, if you've seen her in like was she in Blade Runner 2049? I think it was.
Yeah.
She looked good. She was in another movie that was really terrible this year. I felt bad for that girl. Like, she's I mean, not a great actress, but she gets cast in some just like shite roles. Like this other one. Adam reviewed it. Shit, it was, she played like a nanny to these two kids, and it was kind of like a supernatural one. And I guess the movie just went fucking nowhere. Like there was it was just a mess. But speaking of supernatural stuff, so while you're looking on the topic of the supernatural, actually, there is a very haunted. It's rumored to be haunted. I've been there many times. I've never personally seen anything, but I know people who have. Cemetery by where I live. It's called Parashini, and or if you're not from here, you'd say Parachaney. That's it's like an old logging town, and there was like supposedly like a witch buried there. You know, you're talking back in like late 1800s. I can pull it up real quick. Actually, it's kind of neat. Hey, who we got here? Franchise History TV. Give us, run it back for us, man. Give us your Mary fuck kill in the comments, bro. Hit it up for you got Nyla Rose. Now keep in mind, like I said, man, name used to be Brandon. Then you got Mackenzie Davis and Abby from Last of Us 2. So there you go. Let me pull this up here. So yeah, that this place is, it's really creepy. Like if you go there at night, like I'm not gonna lie. Now there's not many of the tombstones or anything left because they have been like defaced and just destroyed over time by people going back there and just being douchebags, which is unfortunate, you know, because it's kind of a neat, like those old haunted neat place, you know, they're just neat.
I'm more of the philosophy of let the past die, kill it if you have to.
Oh my God, settle down, Ryan. It was me. I was the spy.
It was me, Austin.
I need to make that one. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Let's see. Oh, this girl, shit, this is from 3 years ago. This girl, a family wanted their daughter buried there. I guess she died really young. They wanted her buried there. Let's see. How did Parashini become a ghost town?
Was her name Heather O'Rourke?
I don't know. Did she sleep with Charlie Sheen? He's like, no, I only did blow off her tits a couple times. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, so here we are right here. How did Parashini become a ghost town? This is from MichiganRadio.org from 2017 from the archives. So yeah, it says if you like bird watching, Parashini is a great place to see a Kirtland warbler. Other than that, there isn't much there. It's what you might call a ghost town. Well, that's fucking great. That article was that was a dud. That was a dud. So you know what I have to do to myself now for that, right?
Stupid!
You're so stupid. I may have went to fucking WeGotThisCovered.com. Son of a bitch.
We Got This Covered has nothing covered.
No, it's funny. Like they've been right like 3 or 4 times in the last 4 years. So they really like to live on their on their accomplishments.
I think we know who runs We Got This Covered. Mike Zero.
Mike Zero. When they start citing Mike Zero as sources, I'll be a little more suspect. Prominent YouTuber Mike Zero. He's got like a ton of followers on Twitter, but he follows like I think it's one person. It's funny. I was like, oh really? All right, here's a better article. Did you find anything yet, Tony?
No, but I have a couple other articles pulled up here.
All right, here, let me bounce. I finally found one here. It says, Michigan's most haunted, the Witch of Pirashany Cemetery. Did a witch curse the village of Pirashany? Yeah, this is what it used to look like. They said when there was actually buildings there. A Michigan ghost town has a reputation for ghostly behavior. Pirashany, also known as Cheney or Center Plains, was a village in Crawford County, Michigan. It was settled by lumberjacks in 1874, but the village was abandoned by 1917. And it's like right out here on the map. Like I pass it every time I go to my cabin, like the road to it every time I go to my cabin. After being established by 1874 founder George Cheney, the village received a land grant from the Michigan Central Railroad Company to create a stop along the railroad. The village had a general store, sawmills, a hotel, and a post office. By the 1870s, the population was approximately 1,500 people. Diphtheria, they play an Oregon Trail, an infection spread through the air, wiped out much of the population in 1893. While the village was trying to recover, fires broke out, leaving much of the village damaged. The fires were likely caused by sparks from the mills behind the village. Disease returned again in 1897, and in 1901, the town's population was only 25. In 1917, the population under 20. The land was sold in a public auction in Pirashany, became a ghost town. All that remains today is a cemetery, which some call a literal ghost town. And it's filled with ghost stories. Perhaps the most popular is the legend of the witch. Let's see, the cemetery itself. Let's see, the local legend says a witch cursed the village when she was banished into the woods, which many blame for the outbreak of disease and disastrous fires. The cemetery itself contains the graves of about 90 people, one of which is rumored to be a witch's grave. Some say people from surrounding towns set Pirashany on fire to prevent the spread of the disease. Believed that was caused by the witch. She was later hanged from a tree in the cemetery, and her body was buried. Yes, our county's dirty little secrets. Visitors to the cemetery have reported seeing ghosts, figures, and glowing orbs, lights, and hearing voices. Some have reported hearing children laughing and seeing handprints on cars. The only vegetation that grows in the Pirashany Cemetery is moss, and that is actually correct. So,
do you mind if I just make a comment here? I looked this up.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
And this is in the 1870s, so that's late 19th century, and witch burning stopped in the early 18th century. So, I mean, can we stop teaching women math?
Those goddamn Boleyn girls.
I mean, Jesus, has enough damage not been done? Look at the country, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Because that's what heroes do.
Oh, I mean, if it was that easy, right? We just stopped teaching. Just no math for you. Look, haven't you ever thought about basket weaving?
Yeah.
Not burning pot roasts. I don't know.
Handmaiden.
I mean, if you burn the pot roast, that's on you. You were told not to do it, and you did it. So guess what? Here's what happens.
Franchise. Oh, he answered back. Finally said, "Wife Grace, fuck Abby, and kill the other one. The other one, we shall not speak its name."
You burn the pot roast, your ass is back on.
Kill the other dude.
The other dude. That's I thought I was gonna get banned on Facebook for that one the other day for sure. The last one that got me banned was I made up a song on this thing. It's called it's the T's in the alphabet. I have to be careful what I say on YouTube. The T's and the alphabet people. They're like the most unruly. They are. Like the rest of the alphabet people are awesome. Like for the most part, they really are. They can just be chill and do their thing, but like the T's are always the ones. It's like, look at me. It's like that's they walk into a room. It's like, oh, look out, the 41% suicide squad's here. I mean, it's like I what did I say? I did it was the Transformers song, the cartoon theme song, except just replace the Transformers with the T. And a few other words here and there, and that got me a 30-day ban. That's where the sock puppet came from.
Laughs and 71% unemployment.
Oh God. So, but yeah. So what do you got, Tony?
Man, at this point, just from what you said, the guiltiest dog barks the loudest. That's all I can say. Other than that, I have an article here from Fox News. Let me go ahead and share this.
Yeah.
So,
and boom.
An article with the headline, with Pentagon UFO unit in the spotlight, report mentions off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. Some of the objects were man-made materials, but others are questionable. I'm blaming Russia already. A long-hidden UFO investigative unit within the Pentagon will make some of its findings public, according to a New York Times report. The unit, which is now part of the Office of Naval Intelligence, has spent over a decade discussing mysterious events in classified briefings, according to the news outlet. A government contractor told the Times that he gave a classified briefing to the Department of Defense in March, describing retrievals from off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. The Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force at the Office of Naval Intelligence was described in a Senate Intelligence Committee report last month. The unit standardizes collection and reporting on unidentified aerial phenomenon, any links they have to adversarial foreign governments, and the threat they pose to U.S. military assets and installations, the report said. However, the committee remains concerned that there is no unified, comprehensive process within all of that. So, scrolling down here, the report must include observed airborne objects that have not been identified. So, from what I've surmised from this is, and it doesn't even say whether it's in different instances or not, but they've recovered aerial phenomenon, which some has been identified as materials from this planet and some have not been. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think about this? Is that the timing's a little odd to come out with this story, and to me something seems a little disingenuous about it, and I just want to ask your guys' opinion on that.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay, two things. One, the military's 20 or 30 years ahead of everybody else. They just don't admit it. Back in the 60s, they had spy satellites that could read newspapers in Moscow. Back when, the instant camera hadn't even been invented yet.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Two, not every branch of the military knows what the other people are doing. So the military might be in the dark, but there might be a small portion of the military that's doing something that the other ones don't know, because they're like, we're not going to tell these guys.
Yep.
Whether that's making contact with aliens or flying stuff that is very, very much experimental.
I don't know how much merit that should get. I mean, the U.S. Army just now signed a 6-figure contract with Tom DeLonge just to study and develop advanced material. So, I mean, how legit is this material that they found? They haven't said anything as far as the craft, what it is. pictures, materials, nothing like that. But
Yeah,
You
at
know
least
what?
when they did that alien. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No, go ahead, please.
I was gonna say, at least when they did that alien autopsy on Fox in the '90s, man, they showed us the whole enchilada. You know.
right, they haven't showed nothing.
I know, but no, seriously. This is the validity of this to me. I'm kind of suspect about it. It's like, why would the government fess up to this at all? Now it's like, oh, what, is this a more sleight of hand? I don't want to be, putting my tinfoil hat on and go, oh, the frogs are gay. The frogs are gay. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, I believe there's no way on earth there's no way in this universe that we're alone. Okay. There's no, the law of averages and numbers says otherwise to that fact,
Yeah.
Now, are we the top of the food chain?
No.
No, not by any stretch of the imagination. We're still primitive as fuck in the grand scheme of things. To me, that's where I look at it anyways. I mean, I look at it come from that like kind of like Lovecraftian way, I guess I would say, is like there's a lot of big shit out there that could just run through us in basically what is equivalency of the human blink of an eye and just end civilization. That's just me.
Yeah.
I was watching Shark Week, all right, for example. There are places in the ocean. There are like kind of like in the Meg, so deep that they haven't even got to them. So there's species that we don't even know exist yet. And they've been here longer than us. They'll be here longer than us.
Can I bring up something real quick about the that little sidetrack what you just said about the Pacific, Pete?
Yeah.
Back in the 60s and 70s, the U.S. Navy installed what they called the SOSUS buoy line. Its purpose was to detect Soviet submarines as well as earthquakes. Throughout the 60s and 70s, they constantly picked up from the deepest part of the Pacific unusual traces and signals that they've never been able to explain. The traces and signals were completely inconsistent with any known life form, and the only thing they could have been was an extremely large species of shark, whale, something like that. But it far exceeded anything that's on records right now as having lived in the last 5,000 years, 10,000 years. So
Damn.
there's something out there. We just haven't found it.
Yeah. Do you mind me going off of what you said in the beginning, Admiral? If the military, and I'm from the Southwest, this F-117A was flying over the skies in my city in 1978, and I believe it was unveiled in 1990, 1991. I've kept up on the quantum computing trend because I do believe quantum computing is going to do more for mankind than the conventional computer has. And estimates projected it will be commercially available, like our current PCs are, somewhere around the year 2030. And the thing with quantum computers are they're coded in qubits, so they can simultaneously one qubit could simultaneously be a 0 and 1, meaning that they can they're just very powerful machines. And for example, one of our primitive quantum computers could actually write down some of our most sophisticated encryption in any conventional computer system we have now, and very easily. So if the military really is that far ahead in technology, they would already have access to things like at least primitive AI. But definitely they would have access to elements that may not be declassified yet, and just different materials that we just don't know about, because again, when quantum computing is available, and if it's available now to them, that's got to open all kinds of different doors and answer a lot of questions.
No,
So
absolutely. See,
yeah,
I'm not as up on all that.
yeah,
I'm-
I'm just saying if they really are that far ahead, and there's probably things we can't even imagine that they're doing right now.
That's
Well, I
why
mean-
they're only drip feeding us these little things, because this is all we can comprehend at the moment as far as technology.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're 100 years advanced already. They're just releasing what they think we can handle.
Well, look at the 60s. They developed the SR-71 Blackbird,
Right.
one of the most advanced planes. Even 50 years later, it's still more advanced than most anything flying, and that was 50 years ago.
yeah.
It could fly at 90,000 feet at almost Mach 3. And
That
again,
we
that was
can
50
see.
years ago. So what kind of advances have they made in the last 50 years if that was where they were back then?
Right. I'm sure they got cloaking, all kinds of stuff now. It's where you won't even be detected.
Oh yeah, they absolutely they have to. You think about even with the drone technology, what they could do. You know, I mean, that is it's kind of scary because you think about what it's used for by and by whom.
Right.
But at the same time, so if we have that kind of technology, so what would we be up against? If we were to meet some extraterrestrial, not of this earth, type beings that came to pay us a visit.
We'd be defenseless.
Oh, but I basically think so. It would be like a like kind of like a middle schooler slapping around a preschooler.
Right. I mean, they have UFOs over military bases, spots where they have, underground missiles and stuff to where they're able to stop it from being activated or, interfere with communications, whatever they want to do. Whatever we have, they have 10 times more and would be able to stop us at the drop of a dime.
Who's
So-
that black astrophysicist or scientist? What's his
Neil-
name?
Neil
Neil
deGrasse
deGrasse.
Tyson. Yeah,
He said if you have the ability to cross stars, then nothing we have on Earth can be of any interest to you. If you
True.
can cross the stars like we can walk across the street, then Earth to you is not even a speed bump.
what about diversity?
That's not very inclusive of the other planets.
Colonists.
So seriously, like, what if they just left us alone because of that?
I think they have.
They
don't have
probably
everything
they're just like fuck them. Just let them. They're just gonna burn themselves out anyway.
Exactly.
They're just like waiting for us to take a nap.
Well, think about a dog's relationship with, I don't know. I want to say the moon. Maybe that's not such a good example because the whole wolf moon thing. But honestly, think about a dog's relationship with the moon. Your normal house dog. I mean, it just doesn't really exist. Your dog can walk around its whole life and never look up and appreciate the beauty of the moon. It's just not existent in its consciousness, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
when we talk about life too, I mean we could be talking about creatures that we just can't even comprehend, that might be here, that just may not be here to us, in our
Yeah.
perspective or in the octave that we're able to see in. Or
Mhm.
If I may, in the past 20 years, we've come up with prosthetics that go from your normal, like with the hook and it, and stuff like that, to now kids who are middle class are able to get these advanced prosthetics that, while, yeah, it looks nothing like a real arm, it's capable of doing even more than a real arm can. It's capable of fine motor skills and all this stuff. And we've done that in 20 years. So who's to say some aliens who don't have 50,000 years, what kind of achievements could they have made?
Mhm.
They might not need to evolve. They just have science. My brain has stopped functioning. I'll just put a new one in. My whatever their kidney is. Okay, I'll just put a new one in. It's cloned. Whatever.
Designer babies.
I want my kid to have red hair. Boom, here you go.
Why would you do that?
Why would you put that evil on him, Ricky Bobby?
How dare you?
Doesn't that kid deserve a soul?
I know, right? What are you doing, man? Why? Why would you do that? Why?
I'm pretty sure we're on an alien tourist attraction. Like they just drive by and go, and this is a dump that hopefully none of you ever get shipwrecked on.
It's like Rick and Morty. It's like
We're
Rick and
just
Morty.
an
They just look at us like we're the dummies. Yeah. It's a microverse.
Yep.
We're probably living on a car battery. we're all living on the corrosion of a car battery and we just can't see it.
Yeah. Man, what if we are just like some disease? Because it seems like all we want to do is just spread. You know, just spread.
Compared to other beings, I'm sure we are.
Oh,
We're like the lowest of the low.
I think humans are pretty dope.
I mean, we're fucking.
But you haven't met anything else.
Yeah.
We could probably suck for all we know.
I mean, I think my cat likes me. I know my dog does because I feed the little bitch every day. So
Big Meech doesn't like anybody but himself.
he fucking that little shit tipped over a fucking what it was. I've got like a thing of a cork holder, which is like overflowing, of course. And he tips it over, and they're just like bang, bang, bang on the floor, and his fat ass just lays right down and looks at me. I'm like, you are motherfucking like this cat is like he just like straight up just doesn't fucking care. He's just like whatever, bitch. Just kicks it over and be like, and then sits down. Doesn't even try to run away. Just like, yep.
He's like, I'm fabulous. Deal with it.
He is. I'm like, all right, motherfucker. I'll just pick it up then.
All right, you got thumbs, you clean it.
Yeah, that's it. He's like, you have disposable thumbs. Pick that shit up, Dad.
He's like, pick it up for me. It
Yeah.
pleases me.
And then the motherfucker watches me when I scoop his box. I'm like, I fucking hate it when you do this, dude. It's like, now clean it. Clean it, Dad. I'm like, fuck you. Dick. What are like you think about like was it Men in Black? Like your pet could be an alien. That like seriously, dude, like I'd be like, hey man. Hey, everything you've heard, shut the fuck up. He'd be like, yeah, right.
What if our pets are aliens and that's why they only are here for like 15, 20 years? Because they get tired of it.
they just read. It's like respawning. They're just like, I'm out. I can go do this anywhere.
Well, this human's getting annoying after 20 years. I'm just going to die and go somewhere else now.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to Clyde Frog. He was just like 18 years. I'm like, I'm out, man. I'm out. I can't do this no more. He's like, it was all gravy until the kid came along.
I
But if
think
I-
some.
Go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think some animals are dicks. You know, some
They are.
they really like animals get too much credit. You know, and if some of them are an extraterrestrial race that are beyond what we can actually comprehend or describe as life, then I think that might explain it. That's all I'm saying.
Wasn't that a book where the animals took over? Was that an Orwell book from the 80s? The Farm or something like that? You know what I'm talking about?
I know it was an episode of Futurama.
No, man, it was actual like book or a movie or some shit. I know it was a cartoon. It was like a cartoon animated movie.
I can't. I've heard it before, but I
It's-
don't know.
I believe it's Orwell. Hang on, let me look.
We gotta
now.
look that up.
Yep. I'm not talking about that show, The Zoo, that was on CBS either.
That was
Yeah.
terrible.
You know, I have mixed feelings about it. It was kind of like that show, was it Under the Dome? Like the first season was really cool, and after that it was like, oh, you lost me.
If you really want to get depressed, read the book. The book is so much worse.
Wait, with The Zoo?
Yeah, the book is so different from the TV show, and the book will actually literally make you want to go take a rope and just swing because it is that bad. It's like, why did you write this? who is so evil to write something so stupid?
Who was it? Who wrote it? Who wrote the book?
I'd
Was
have
it
to go look it up.
Crichton?
I don't remember, but it's like so pointless. You get to the end of the book and you're like, why did I just read this?
Why? Why would anybody on Earth do this? Okay, it's called the Animal Farm by George Orwell. And the animals take over the farm and develop their own independent society, just as it happened during the Russian Revolution of 1917. So, yeah, George Orwell underlies the tension between the oppressed and the exploiting classes, between the condescending ideals and harsh realities of socialism. Sound familiar?
Who put it out? Disney?
So
No, no, it's a shock. It didn't though. Like that's coming out this fall by Disney.
if you think about it, his books are kind of like bookends almost. It's like
Oh yeah,
the start of the revolution and then the result of it.
He was a
Uh-huh.
bit of a communist, but
Yeah.
he was smart.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about communists is there's some of them that are smart, but they're usually too broke to do anything. So
I don't get it. Like the communist manifesto reads like a kid sat there with the crayon, and I get there was a time when people were working in these factories and getting maimed,
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay, well, you're no use to us anymore, and that's it. There aren't no benefits, and but that's a battle that was won, and it's kind of like in the same position PETA's in now, where they're beating the shit out of characters on or on whatever that stupid Nintendo game is, and it's just, yeah, the mission is one. Nobody wants to be mean to animals anymore,
Yep.
My neighbor has cows, and I'm very respectful to them, including the day that they'll be on my plate as a T-bone or a ribeye or whatever.
Oh, I do the same thing, dude, because like I get like a quarter cow from my parents' neighbors. So I go over there sometimes and I'll just watch the cows. I'm like, how you doing, dinner? Hey, what's up, steak? Hey, what's up, Taco Tuesday? How you doing? I just like, you make them names for them. I'm like, I'm gonna eat you. I'm a dick about it. I have some vegan. I have one girl in particular. She's like one of those militant vegans on my friends list, and I'll post a picture of like a steak or something. I love when I'll grill ribs and I'll take a picture. I'll be like, vegans, you go ahead and keep your salad. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat this rib cage, and she yelled at me for drinking milk. I was like, what's that? She goes, that's abuse. I'm like, okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and drink this milk in my White Russian. That's cool. I put vodka in it. Does that offset it at all? Does that make it more or less? What's in the Kahlua? I don't care.
Militant vegans are so cute.
Oh, they are. She's a vegan bodybuilder. So she's just
miserable,
kind of hot and annoying and miserable. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, well, since you don't like meat, how about some other kind of meat? The other white meat.
Tube steak smothered in underwear.
Oh,
You can't do that. That's oppressing.
well, hey, look, I didn't say
balls on your chin.
I didn't say she had an OnlyFans.
Okay, now to be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Oh God, that's but yeah. So I don't know. She might be a Martian. Who knows? Oh God. So has anybody had? Okay, so I'm just gonna fucking jump the shark here a little bit. Has anybody had any? I don't want to say like. Does anybody have any like personal like supernatural things that have happened to you?
Well, if anybody else wants to go first.
Oh, feel free.
Whenever I lived in Shreveport, Louisiana, a girlfriend of mine, her dad owned a horse farm. On the edge of the property was an old house that had been used as a hospital in the Civil War. And it had formerly been a cotton plantation, so there was no vegetation around the house, nothing like that. And the house was really weird. Like, you couldn't ride horses near it. You couldn't really. Horses would kind of start freaking out, stuttering. I mean, they would get really nervous. So you're like, something's off about this. Well, one day, me and my girlfriend were hanging out. Her sister calls and says, "Hey, there's a storm outside," and I went into the house, and my horse took off. Could y'all please come and get me? She goes, "Something's not right about this." So we go there. We actually have to, and I'm not an abusive person to horses. This is the first and only time I've ever actually had to whip a horse to get it to go to where I wanted it to go. We get there, go inside. We're walking out. As we're walking out, you look down the long hall. I don't know if y'all have ever been in a Southern style plantation. The front hall is very long.
Yeah.
And I can see something walking towards me, but it's moderately transparent. And I'm like, okay, this is not cool. Whatever this is, I don't like it. It's kind of shaped like a person, but I can see through it. That's not how this is supposed to work. I had what they call a Howdah pistol. It's basically a double shot black powder mini shotgun. I pick it up and I said, let me see what this does. Shoot it. I see all 20 of the balls go in one side and out the other. And that's when I said, no, I'm done. I'm gone. Bye. Forget this. Got up, got back on a horse, left, never looked back, never went back. Not a chance. Not doing it. So that was like, nope. Her dad asked, what happened? I'm like, oh, nope, nothing. Everything's good. Burn that house down, please.
Oh man. Yeah. Oof. That's enough to make the hair in the back of your neck stand up. Especially when you start to spook, because like I've ridden horses, and yeah, when a horse gets spooked and you can't get it to calm down, then that starts to scare you a little bit, because it's like, okay, what the hell is freaking you out so much, you big bastard?
Oh, I mean, you would trot by that house, and the horses would start going sideways, and they start getting that look in their eye. Yep. And you could just look at that house and you're like, no, you're no good. Something is going on in there, and we're gonna go the other way now.
There was a house like that right by the elementary school where I went to, which is in like literally the town is like, if you blink you'll miss it. And the school has like been closed for I don't know, like 21 years now or something like that. And there was this house like right by the edge of like the playground. There was like a wood line that you couldn't cross. That was like the edge. And there was like this abandoned house, and like we always used to like pretend it was haunted and shit. And it was just like it was like it looked like it was out of like Nightmare on Elm Street. And it still almost looks like that to this day. Somebody kind of fixed it up a little bit, and actually like lives in there now, which is funny because like now the elementary school, like I would like to shoot a horror movie there. It's like it looks. I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it on Facebook. It looks creepy as shit. Like I pass it every time I go to my parents' house. Like it scares the shit out of me. And my parents' house is fucking haunted. Like I'll put that on everything. Like I've had like a handful of fucking experiences over the course of, well, I lived there until I was 20, 21, and then I moved back in when I was 30 for about 6-7 months. And I've had experience even staying there. Like shit has happened because there's been at least 5 or 6 people that have died in the house, and there's 2 or 3 people that are buried on the property. So it's kind of a fucking it's a big old farmhouse. It's around 4,800 square feet with a basement. Now there was false walls that you could walk through the entire upstairs of the house, like from end to end at one point before my parents kind of remodeled. I mean, there's like I mean, we found like spots under the stairs where there was two hinges that were covered in wallpaper, and you turn it and there's like it pops out behind shit behind the walls and shit. Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy.
Sounds like the Winchester house, just staircases to nowhere, doors. Yeah.
But it is, man. And it's just this. Oh, it was built in like, I want to say the first half was built in like 19 maybe 40 around there, and then they added on in I think 1970. But then my parents bought it in like 78 or 79. But yeah, dude, there's like there's people buried in a yard. They're the former owners, and one of their kids died there, and like two of my grandparents died there, and somebody else did too. That was like wasn't related to either of the families, but it was under some like kind of weird like circumstances. So yeah, I have had like chairs move. Like me and my friends came home. We're like 14 or 15 coming home from like, you know, like a dance at high school. And we got home at like 1:00. One of our, you know, my buddy's older brothers dropped us off. You know, I think we're friends. We weren't even drinking or anything like that. And we're fucking sitting there, and I knock on the door, and I can see there's a lamp on the living room, and my fucking dad's recliner. You know, he's got one of those lazy boys that's fucking rocking. And I was like, oh, the old man just got up. All right, he'll answer the door. And we're waiting. Nobody fucking comes to the door. It's like, what the fuck? Ring the doorbell. Chair stops. And it was just fucking crazy, man. Like, my mom comes down the stairs. My dad comes up. What the fuck? You know, I was like, oh, what? You know, and it's like, well, who was sitting in the chair? And they didn't believe us. They thought we were high. So they're like, my dad is a former narcotics officer. So he's like fucking like just grilling us. I'm like, we're like 15 years old. It's like, no, dude. I'm like, we're not messed up right now at all. Like, surprisingly, we knew we were coming back here. So we stayed sober tonight. I'm going to deal with you doing this. And yet you're still doing it. So yeah, that was always fun.
Yeah,
But,
no, thank you. No.
But and then like I've heard, and one of my friends that was staying the night, footsteps in the bedroom that I was in, which was my grandmother's room. She died in there. We heard footsteps in there. He asked me what the fuck I was doing walking around him while he was sleeping on the guys. I had my bed, and I had a fucking full size couch, an entertainment center, recliner. And he was sleeping on the couch. He's like, I hear him talking, dude, get the fuck away from me. And I was like, what? I just ignored it. I was like, I was talking to sleep. He's Pete. He goes, get the fuck. I'm like, dude, I'm laying in bed. And I turned the lamp on, and he's fucking like flexed back. He goes, what the fuck? You were standing over me. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I'm like, that kind of shit happened there. No physical, I'm not making this shit up either, because like, hand to God, this is fucking just some of the crazy shit that has happened in my fucking, this is my parents' house still to this day. And yeah, it was always fun being there by yourself, especially like I'd be upstairs like in my room, like high and shit, playing video games. Now this is when I moved back in at 30, and and you just hear something. It's like nobody else there. You hear something. I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, come on. I'm like, all right. First thing I'm doing is like, can I shoot it? Can I shoot it, or am I gonna have to like what am I gonna have to do here? What is my plan of attack?
Judging from my experience, shooting ghosts generally does not work. It just makes them mad.
I know. I was like, do I throw myself at it? Just body surf that son of a bitch? I have no idea what to do here. But yeah, so that just like hearing the foot, that's some of the stuff that's happened in my folks' house.
I couldn't sleep there. No, thank you.
Dude, my kid loves staying there. I'm like, oh, I bet you do.
Have any of you heard of the psychotronic universe?
No, sir. Not here.
So I had never heard of the psychotronic universe either. Until, let me go back here. I stumbled across this on the CIA website, cia.gov. And this was actually declassified. All right, well, yeah, document release date April 10th of 2000. And what it is it's part of, if I'm not mistaken, Project Stargate, which is another, this is a CIA document as well. But more specifically, the Psychotronic Universe studies, here I'll read it to you, the consciousness, matter, and energy triangle proposed by the author, an example, a formula of the interchange of consciousness, matter, and energy. And they're saying they've had great repercussions in the scientific world, both home in the US and abroad with this. What they're basically saying is they're finding ways to convert consciousness into energy. And this is, an official government document. So when I hear things like that, I think that supernatural instances actually could be possible. Something, you don't meet many you don't hear many ghost stories about the ghosts being in a good mood. Usually they're suffering some sort of traumatic experience, and maybe somehow the energy from their consciousness is able to imprint or loop, or just, I'm not a scientist, I'm just throwing it out there when I hear things like, them physically being able to convert consciousness into energy. It just opens up so many possibilities as to what that could mean,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So when I hear about supernatural, it just, who knows? It could be explained scientifically here soon.
Well, I believe words and thoughts carry energy. So if you do die in a traumatic way, you're going to leave that imprint.
Yeah.
As somebody, sorry if I cut somebody off, but as somebody who's been a first responder, I've worked in prisons for 10 years. I've been around people who are dying, dead, all that. You're totally right. If people die in a bad way, something's going to linger. I've seen it in the prison so many times, and it happens. And growing up in a religious family, I've always been told that, you can't think those thoughts, but until you see it for yourself, until you physically see something like that happen, and then you see the after effects, it'll change your mind real quick.
Oh yeah, back to the whole haunted thing. Back in Indiana, I lived in a family-owned gas station from the 30s, and one of the workers, because they had just had the lifts put into the ground, so you had to go into the basement, walk across the house, get to the lift to work on the car. Well, I guess one of the mechanics at the time, back in the 30s, had slept with one of the customer or owner's wife or something like that. He found out, ended up killing the guy down in the basement. So he has a residual that he walks through my uncle's basement. You can hear him knocking down mason jars. Of course, you go down there and nothing's broken, but just from the way he died, he left an imprint of his last moments there in the garage. So, you do carry energy for sure.
And to even add on top of that, energy never dissipates. It can transfer, convert to other forms of energy. So to even hear noise and stuff, that takes acoustical energy. So again, I'm not a scientist, but it all, I don't know. I feel like one day we at least, and maybe they can now, who knows, but if somebody tells me they have a supernatural experience, I learn something new every day, so I'm just, I guess, not closed-minded enough to shut that off. I believe it can be explained, and I believe, at least some of the people, when they tell me they have seen stuff, we've all walked, back to what Admiral's saying here, like we've all walked into a room and just, even if you don't know what happened there, and just, you can sense something wrong. You can sense dark energy.
Yeah, that's always a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Or walking down the street, like down on the strip or something, and you can feel somebody negative coming up.
Yeah, so
That is
who
weird
knows?
about people, how they do carry that vibe.
Yeah, you emit frequency. I mean, Tony, your audio, I mean, we all vibe. That's where you get that from, vibe, because your frequency, you vibrate.
Yep.
I mean, like I've been in a house that was the scene of a triple murder.
Wow.
I went into the house after maybe a decade. It hadn't been in use since that night, and this is going to sound completely crazy, and y'all can dismiss it. I mean, I doubt y'all will. I mean, this is a good group, but I walked in that house, and I distinctly remember it was 10 minutes to 10 p.m. And I walked in, immediately turned around and walked out, and I got a bunch of missed calls. People have called me on the radio. Hey, man, what are you doing? It was 10 minutes to 11 when I got back to my car.
Nice.
Holy shit.
And I mean, I walked in and turned right around. I did not spend a second, but I got back and I was in there an hour. I mean, I can't explain that. I don't want to explain that, but like I said, that happened, and that was probably one of the freakiest things I've ever experienced, because when it hit me, I immediately felt like okay, I immediately felt like something was standing behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part of that was there was a light on, a porch light on the side by the garage, and I made a note of that in my report. My supervisor said, hey, they haven't had power to that house in 10 years.
No, sure.
I said, what?
Huh.
I called Entergy, our local company, and they said, yeah, we cut the line to that night because it's condemned. And it's on the camera, distinctly. We looked back at the film and the light was on.
Wow.
Oh.
So
They were calling you, man. They lit up that beacon.
Yep.
Came in and put all that energy on you.
They need to stop. I don't want that. I don't want to go. Leave me alone. Don't take me.
We're meant to see it, though.
Yep.
Don't put that probe in me.
At least buy dinner first.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's have a nice conversation.
Let's have a dinner. Let's have a talk, and then we'll maybe, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Wine and dine me first.
What was that episode of Family Guy when Quagmire gets abducted?
Oh.
And he asked them, so y'all still do the probe? And they goes, no, we retired it. And he's like, well, maybe y'all can bring it back for me?
Yeah. Fucking Quagmire. All right.
I mean, and I don't know if y'all have. I love the Quagmire. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all have seen some of those medieval torture devices and the way they used to kill people, but the word cursed was used a lot more. Oh, this place is cursed back then. So I'm starting to think there's some traction here with the whole traumatic death and imprinting. Like, I think maybe we should go through some medieval torture devices.
Called residual haunting. That's what it was.
Did y'all ever hear the curse of Joan of Arc?
No.
It supposedly pretty much every single French king that followed the one that had that failed to rescue Joan of Arc had some sort of vision or had some sort of experience with her, at least at one point during his reign. It's been a long time since I've actually seen. I need to go back and look, but it's pretty much every single French king had some sort of experience or vision of Joan of Arc, whether it was good, bad, neutral, whatever. And they said that was basically her way of being like, look, y'all, I saved France. Y'all didn't save me. Here you go. Get you some of this. Supposedly Louis not the 14th, the last French king, the last one that was beheaded. Supposedly he seen her the night before that he was due to be executed, and she said something of like finally. I'm guessing finally, as in I have my revenge.
I wonder if she was ever seen after that.
I'm not sure.
That looks like a Slipknot mask.
Yeah.
Wouldn't,
Is that
wouldn't
is that what Corey Taylor wears?
Smile like
Wouldn't
a
you-
donut.
wouldn't you be a fucking ghost after wearing that?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, even if they didn't kill me.
let's go through some more medieval torture devices here.
Oh man, there's some wretched ones, man.
Wolverine.
I mean,
Oh.
some people nowadays would look at these and go, "That's a good time."
Look
Yeah.
at
All right. Any Instagram model with an OnlyFans?
Yeah. You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
So what do you
Jeez.
do for employment? Oh, I'm an Instagram model. Oh, so you're unemployed.
Yeah.
Again,
What
do you do
goes
for
in
employment?
that?
Oh, Sunset Hard Hands. Sunset
Just
Hard
burn-
Hands.
Just burn me alive, please.
Yeah.
Picture.
I'm pretty sure this was in the Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Oh. Oh.
Jesus.
Lord.
So I'm just saying, no wonder why there were so many ghosts back then.
Oh, I want to add this to the Joan of Arc thing. Sorry, I just thought about it. They denied normally back when you got your throat, you were burned at the stake. Normally, the executioner would slit your throat, and that was denied to Joan of Arc. So this will add a little something else to that. They normally slit your throat so the flames didn't kill you. So not slitting somebody's throat, yeah, that makes things a little worse.
Yeah, that's just torture.
Yeah. That's like when they used the electric chair down in Florida and the dude didn't wet the sponges.
Ugh,
Oh yeah, that man.
Old
That'd be
Sparky.
horrible.
Yeah.
fried chicken.
Yep.
I think if you live through it the first time, you should, they should let you go.
Yeah. Even with the fried egg, you call it brain.
Yeah, I made it through, man. I made
Feel
it
like
through. Let me
he's-
go.
He's going to get hit by a bus as soon as he leaves the gate anyway. Here you go, bud. Here's a winning lotto ticket from last night. I mean, damn. That's just, that's a hell of a fucking lawsuit right there. We call him Lee Steinberg. Yeah, hey, I got electrocuted and lived. So can you see that commercial on TV late nights? Have you been electrocuted and lived? Call J.G. Wentworth 877 cash now.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god, it'd cost $1 million. It'd be like a Michael J. Fox commercial. The dude be stuttering everywhere.
It's like that guy. Have y'all seen that movie, The Great Outdoors, with John Candy and Dan
Oh
Aykroyd?
yeah.
The guy that
Yes.
gets struck in the head by lightning 66 times, and then in the head.
Oh, boy.
Oh, it looks like you got that neo skunk thing going on there, huh, Reg? Oh God, yeah, that my dog is going nuts barking at something.
Dommy, can you imagine going to prison for something you didn't do, surviving the electric chair, and then the moment you walk outside of the prison, you get stabbed and robbed?
Some
like
people have. Yeah.
That's like what that happened to one guy in Batwoman.
Oh God, don't.
He did. He was wrongfully imprisoned, released, and then he got shot by a sniper when he was getting ready to talk to Lucius Fox, because he was in prison for killing Lucius Fox, or Luke Fox's dad, Lucius, and he didn't do it. So somebody sniped him to shut him up.
He didn't do it.
Yep, he was innocent.
Sounds like some government shit.
Oh, it was deep. It was deep. This is a Batwoman plot we're talking about here. It was written in Crayola.
Y'all mind if I throw a conspiracy theory at y'all?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, unless y'all have something else y'all wanted to bring up.
No.
Okay, so the Kennedy assassination.
Mhm.
Oh,
All right, here's my theory. Tear it apart. Hey, something I've been thinking about for years. I think the CIA and the mafia combined to do it, and here's my reasoning. Kennedy's father owed the mob several $1 million, and he
Yep.
told them to basically go kick rocks.
Mhm.
1930s America, you don't do that. And into the 1960s, they still had a lot of power. Okay. The CIA Kennedy's the one that pulled the plug on Bay of Pigs right when it looked like it was going to succeed. That's the CIA operation. And then he purges the leadership at the top with a bunch of yes men. Well, the early 1960s CIA has still got a bunch of knife pluggers. A lot of guys that did dirty work in World War II. They're probably not going to take too kindly to that. Because my thing is that Lee Harvey Oswald was too drugged up on his mind to be able to hit the broadside of a barn door at 10 feet.
Yeah, he couldn't have made that shot.
No, there was a man on a grassy knoll. Too many people have said it. And I think it was a CIA spook.
Yep.
Took the shot. He's dead somewhere, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back and look at Jack Ruby's thing, I mean, his family continued to get money from some bank account well into the 70s and 80s.
Right.
And then there's been 2 or 3 other people that mysteriously got offed whenever they were about to unveil some new details about the assassination. I just don't think that one drugged up, half retarded guy with some, Italian rifle is going to peg the president doing 15 miles an hour from some window somewhere.
No.
I mean, people don't realize how hard it is to shoot a standing target at 200-300 yards, let alone a moving target.
From up on, what was it, like a 3rd, 4th level?
Yeah.
With a full action rifle.
Yes.
It's not like
out the window. Yeah.
It's not like Kennedy was Mr. McCheese, He didn't have a head the size of.
I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
I remember that from Problem Child. The clown, as he walked out of the gas station, got shot in the head. Back and to the left.
They did that on Seinfeld too, and plus I've seen the movie JFK like probably about a half dozen times. No, that and that Admiral Tiberius, you're exactly on point with that, because I actually took a mafia history class in college, and that was one of the things we talked about, was the connection of the mafia, in particular the Florida and New Orleans mob, to the CIA.
And wasn't he shutting down a bunch of the mafia's operations too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well,
his brother was the attorney general. His brother had been smashing them.
Yep. Was it Jack? Was it Jack Kennedy?
Yeah, the one that later got killed in that hotel.
Yep.
While he was running for president.
Yep. Yeah, but he was the head. Yeah, he'd say when they started going after the mob, and it's like, who put your kid in the fucking White House? And so that was when old man Kennedy was his I can't remember his name, but old man Kennedy, he was a bootlegger too. That was the thing. That's how he got his mob ties. So it was like, and then you piss on the fucking mafia, you just basically give them the hard one.
Right.
And you turn the power of the fucking U.S. government on them. What are they going to do? They're going to strike back at you. You don't do that. That's just bad business.
Senor Bush's first big job.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and piss off the CIA by not only canceling an operation that was about to succeed, but then you go and take out half their leadership like it was their fault.
Yep.
Yeah. And this was back in the day before emails.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead, bro?
I'm finished, sir. I'm finished.
All right. So I love the United States of America. I love my country, but I'm also not blind, and I know that our country hasn't always been perfect, especially in foreign policy. But I honestly think, at least of modern times, some of the most dastardly things the United States may have done to other countries and whatnot, or even to its own citizens, the CIA has been involved. I mean, so just speaking to JFK, nothing would surprise me at this point when it comes to them, because when they started, they were supposed to be almost like the president's personal newspaper, and obviously they evolved beyond that quickly. But I don't know. I think they're bad for the country, and they probably make us look bad on the worldwide stage as well.
Oh, yeah, you got to keep that military-industrial complex fit.
You know,
Speaking of the CIA, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about AI earlier, the U.S. government having AI.
Yeah.
You know, NSA has a supercomputer underneath their primary building. It was built to basically brute force any kind of code the Soviets could come up with. Well, they built it right as the Soviet Union decided we're going to quit playing the game.
Uh-huh.
You know, a couple years ago, they discovered that the computer program was running a little more than normal. Like, okay, why is this thing running more code than it's supposed to? I don't know the technical term. They go down there and they discover the computer had not only taught itself to play solitaire, it was playing with itself. Because the computer was so bored because they were only running it at about 20% capacity. So the computer not only taught itself to play solitaire, they said it was in the process of teaching itself to play other card games. Because it had gone online, found out what solitaire was, made it up, and was teaching itself, and was then working on other stuff. So if that doesn't give you a little scare.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it had said, "Hello, my name is Jeff," I'm done. I'm gone. Bye.
It starts talking to you like what is that motherfucker in Winter Soldier when they go down that bunker, that creepy little dude from Fallen Kingdom, and what was that other show with Jason Patrick, Wayward Pines. He was the scientist. You know what I'm talking about?
Weird little dude with glasses, no hair.
Yep. He was
short.
He was the Nazi scientist in Hydra in Winter Soldier. I'm trying to think. I can't think of his name, but you know what I'm talking about. Like that's just what I picture, like the fucking evil, like Skynet computer sounding like is that. It would be like, "Hello, humans. Welcome to your destruction. Bow down to mine glory. Whilst I shoot you with lightning bolts from my processor."
What scares y'all more? Rampant AI, plague, or nuclear weapons?
Rampant AI.
Rampant AI, definitely.
You can't account for that.
No.
I kind of embraced it because
Terrifying.
at this point it's inevitable. So when it looks back on this podcast here, I definitely embrace the rampant expansion of AI, and I think we can be friends and possibly lovers.
Hang on 1 second. All right, go ahead. Say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
It's Trey.
Hello, sir.
All right.
Ask him. Give him the 3 options. No, I'm kidding.
All right, hang on, guys.
Yeah, so I think at a point it worries me, and then in a way I think it's somewhat our evolution. In a way I think it might be our destruction, and I think that I know a few people who are worried that bad people will get a hold of the AI and use it against the rest of humans, but what they don't realize is it's not going to be this pivotal moment when AI surpasses human intelligence. It's going to be learning so quickly that that's going to mean nothing.
It's going to be an avalanche, basically.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So I don't think any humans will be controlling it, and for the first time that we know of, because also, think we're on a spinning rock floating around in space and we have no clue how we got here. But from our own known perspective, it's going to be the first time we're not in control. But it's also inevitable. It is. I mean, it's going to happen. Not because I choose to, but because they're doing it. I mean, what are you going to do,
I want it to the first thing it does is to sing "I Got No Strings to Hold Me Down," and it's James Spader's voice like Ultron.
Only
Can I tell you what?
recently
It's on a-
purchased? Yeah, Disney has to purchase the AI company first.
Can I tell you what scares me about AI?
What's that?
Is if a country like China is the first one to really come up with an artificial self-thinking AI, because they're such a technocratic
Asshole.
I mean,
Sorry.
yeah, they are. I mean, and the
Sorry.
thing is they would ask the AI to do stuff that is completely immoral,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the AI would go, okay, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. Oh, look, America has just told China to go do this, that, and that, and the other, and they're threatening China, so I'm gonna launch nukes.
Yep.
That to me is what. Now, I'm not saying our country or any other country would be any better, but at least I don't think we would automatically teach the AI, hey, look, you got to be evil, you got to do this, you got to do that. That scares me. A country like China getting a hold of a self-thinking AI.
Well,
it's-
the fact that was it like 2 million like cell phones just like disappeared and over there recently because of all this bullshit going around the pandemic that we shall not speak its name. There wasn't like 2 million like cell phone plans or some shit like that just like disappeared, like they were gone. It's like, yeah, so any country that's willing to do that scares the shit out of me because if let me tell you something, if those numbers are gone, those people are probably gone because there's a whole lot of people over there, and I guarantee you they're practicing population control. I'm just saying.
2 million people out of a country with over 1 billion
Mm-hmm.
is nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, that is spit in the wind. I mean, and in China, you're still only allowed to have one kid.
Yep.
If you have 2 kids, your other one's getting aborted, and your wife's probably going to get killed too.
Shit, man. Me and my wife always joke around about that because we only had one. We always joke around because our friends got like, 3, 4 kids and they're all struggling, little badass kids. I'm just like, psh. I was like, one thing China got right.
So let me ask you guys, because I don't know if I agree if we have some sort of a cap as to how smart the AI can teach itself, maybe. But I think a true self-learning AI, I don't think any human's going to be able to control. Like if we tell it, hey, fire nukes, it's going to look at us like, like a dog begging for food.
Yep.
So if we're able to put some sort of cap onto the AI, like as to not be able to be mentally superior to a human being, then maybe. But I don't think that's my whole point. I think we're not going to be in control anymore. I mean, in a way, we will be at the mercy of the self-taught AI.
Well, that's it. It's like, how do you limit something from learning?
It'll see the concentration camps. It'll see the dead babies. It'll see what they're doing. So, what would make it stop and think, well, I'm going to attack? And we're not perfect either by any means.
Yep.
But why would it side with the one side? I guess is my.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and that would be that would be actually a good. That's like a good novel right there.
It might just decide that humanity is trash in general and not worth saving.
I was just about to say, who's to say that it won't just wipe us out?
Or it might decide it needs us for its evolution because it's never going to be able to have a certain level of consciousness without us.
Yeah. Yep, we're a necessity. We're like a means to an end for it.
Yeah.
That's it. It would just like farm humans basically at that point.
So the Matrix?
Well, isn't that what we are anyway?
Maybe like that, but maybe more so we're building our own evolution in a way too. Like it's, I don't want to just say emotion, but certain ways of thought too. Like right now when they're teaching the self-driving cars, I mean, they have to run it through so many different scenarios because no matter how much code they write, they can't teach it to make split. They can't teach it to think outside of the box, basically.
Oh
They
yeah,
don't have a natural reaction like a human.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yep. Whereas a human can veer. We know what we're supposed to do, but yeah, if the situation arises, we have the cognitive awareness to be like, oh shit, adjust, pop, pop,
Right. Right.
And yeah, whereas that AI is like must stay on course, bang, that's
Until it gets a certain amount of feet.
yep. So that therein lies the problem. But like you said, if it becomes super self-aware, then it will learn to adapt to those situations and react like it's a organic life form,
Yep.
which is terrifying.
Which is,
Well,
Just
China's
communicate with
already
the other
started.
car.
What's that?
Said it just communicate with the other car, tell it to speed up or slow down. Move.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, that's what it would turn into.
Exactly.
It would be kind of like Wall-E. Like the people are just fat and lazy, and the robots do everything. Fucking
Yeah, but that
Wall-E.
was such a good movie.
Dude, I love that movie. My kid like fell in love with that. So like I've seen it probably like 10, 11 times. Yes. Yeah. It's a great fucking movie.
It's sad
But-
when a robot can find love, but the rest of us are just, yeah, no.
That's basically it. No, yeah, I just the prospect of like going back to I see franchise, he mentions Skynet, things like that. I remember as a kid seeing Terminator and thinking that was so far fetched, and I was born in 1980, so I'm 40, having seen the evolution of technology in just my short lifetime, the blink of an eye, basically on the timeline of the universe, as Neil deGrasse Tyson said in Cosmos, which I love that series. It's amazing to see the evolution of a phone that was tethered to a wall to a computer in your pocket now. It really is. And video games and just stupid things, little things that we take for granted now on a daily basis.
And I may be stealing from a meme here, but to all the teachers who said you're not going to be walking around with the calculator in your pocket, fuck you.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, you'll never have that luxury. Well, bitch, I have a calculator. I have fucking Pornhub. I have fucking, I can watch YouTube videos. I can play goddamn Bowmasters and kill somebody with a gold chain. I mean, I can do that. That's what I can do. So, yeah, what's to say this AI won't advance and just take us out one day? I mean, it doesn't seem like humans, we're as a species, we're so arrogant. We truly are. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I don't appreciate it, because I mean, let me face it, we'll never be off the top of the food chain in my lifetime. So after that, you know what? My hands are clean. So basically what I'm saying is it's crazy to think about it, but I mean, unless the shit just like jumped off overnight, like The Walking Dead style, with except without zombies, it's fucking it'd basically be like, what was that Stephen King movie, Maximum Overdrive? So yeah, that would basically be it right there. They're at the end of humans. Maximum Overdrive.
Here's something that's also scary about AI is the prevalence of wireless technology, Bluetooth thing, and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So who's to say that we don't in 20 years have breakthrough some AI? Cool. And we piss it off 5 years down the road, and it decides it's going to start taking control of things that are wireless, like your little wireless lawnmower that you used to cut your grass.
Mm-hmm.
You go outside one day, and guess what? Now you're running from your little wireless self-propelled lawnmower because it's coming after you. I mean, that's obviously a stupid example, but I mean, why not? I mean, be a little funny about it.
It's like you're taking a shower and the brave little toaster jumps in with you.
Kamikaze toaster.
Yeah.
Hey, I think you just called Ghislaine Maxwell's fate.
Oh,
Ghislaine. I don't know. She had the fucking coof though. 2 days in jail and she had the coof.
y'all know that was my agency that I worked for that was responsible for Epstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Bureau of Prisons. Yeah, that was my people's.
Oh, the Federal Bureau of Prisons?
Yeah, we were actually the ones that the Orange is the New Black modeled themselves after, because the writer used to be a federal inmate,
Okay.
and she hates us. So we actually changed uniforms just because of that show.
Oh God. Thank you for Ruby Rose. Orange is the New Black.
Hey now. That's the only
So
good
do
thing
you
about that
guys-
show.
Laura
Do you
Prepon.
guys get designated nap times? Or were the Epstein cards breaking the law or the rules?
Oh my.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, that was fucking great. They're like, so basically that jail in New York where Epstein was staying, like in that show Filthy Rich, they're like, they just broke it down. Like they might as well just said the guards are retards and nothing works. That's basically what they were fucking saying. They're like, yeah, it's notorious for having like not the smartest personnel and the equipment is suspect, and it's like, that sounds like a lot of excuses for why a guy was able to hang himself in his cell when he was supposed to be under 24-hour watch.
A week after he attempted suicide.
Yeah, I never worked in a jail. I have a degree in criminal justice, though. I have a lot of cops in my family. I understand how some of these things and the procedures work. Yeah, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Oh, that whole thing was that just, when that happened, I'm like, yep, that's going to be a nice big egg on the face.
Oh yeah. It's like,
And I'll be like this. I mean, if y'all want to hear it, how it's actually supposed to work on Suicide Watch and why it is a complete snow job. You're basically inside the prison hospital in a little room, and there's 2 cameras inside the cell.
mhm.
And the staff that are supposed to be watching you are supposed to be sitting right in front of the cell, watching it at all times. No ifs, ands, or buts.
No.
Obviously, he was high profile, so there was 2 of them. And only one person has the key for it. And the only thing you're allowed in that cell is what they call a suicide smock. It's basically like a giant padded jacket that Velcros. There's no way you can hang yourself with it because it's literally half an inch thick.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be used as a pillow to cover your business in case you get cold. And you trust me, you cannot fold it up and hang yourself with it. So complete snow job.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they redid his autopsy, and it was proven that his windpipe was crushed.
Oh yeah, they said there's no way that the type of injuries sustained were from hanging. There's no way, or strangulation basically it was, because he wasn't hanging that high. It was just like off a bedpost. He was like sitting down.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
I just
But
want
he's like, okay, yep, they say it's true, so believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Meanwhile,
like if I'm just saying, if I was a betting man, yeah, I didn't mean any disrespect to corrections officers.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Trust me, I laugh at my own agency
Yeah.
at how ridiculous we are.
But if I was a betting man, those corrections officers were taken out of the room by people who outranked them long before anything happened to Epstein.
Speaking of betting, man, I got a poll going. Who wants in on how long and how Ghislaine's going to go?
like I said, man, they diagnosed her with COVID like 2 days after she was in jail. So no matter how she dies, it's going to be ruled COVID.
Oh man, yeah.
Seriously, I mean that's anything now, because plus wherever she's at, they get that $40,000 government fucking bonus,
Right.
for that. So my YouTube channel is probably gonna get struck down for me saying that now because I'm spreading disinformation. Motherfuckers, fuck with me. I only got 287 subs, you some of my bitches. But no, really, that's but no, I've been wondering that myself. I'm like, she's made it longer than I thought she would already.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, they're probably gonna try to end this one quickly, but honestly, with all the fucking spotlight and attention on it now, it's like
she's gonna have to face it.
Yep. And she's ready to spill her guts, and I cannot wait.
Oh yeah.
Well, we all seen the PDFs. I mean, fucking, Slick Willie went 23 fucking times. You know, he rode that fucking Lolita Express. It's like, dude, like, come on. 23 fucking times. I love the pictures of him and Chris Tucker and Kevin Spacey. I'm like, that is a fucking crew right there. Oh,
Hey, sorry, go ahead, Pete. My bad.
no, I was just gonna say, like, Kevin Spacey's character from American Beauty came from fucking True Life Inspiration, apparently, huh? Sick bastard.
Have y'all seen the Wayfair memes? Please tell me yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those are some of the best I've ever seen, but even though it's so wrong, but it's so funny.
I love the clown ones. You like dress like a clown and pop out of the fucking cabinet and take out as many of the celeb pedos as you can.
How do y'all think that Wayfair thing is true, or do you think it's been a pumped up?
Okay, my sister sent me an article supposedly debunking it, but it was from BuzzFeed, so I told her try again.
Yeah, no.
I was like, don't ever try to debunk anything by sending me an article from BuzzFeed. Ever again in the history of Earth. Don't ever do that. I'm like, I will laugh at you.
I don't know. There's too many things that line up that. Yeah.
Like they have the $10,000 pillow named after with the exact same last name of a girl missing in North Carolina.
Oh, a few things. Things.
That's just fucking creepy, dude. Like that is just
Spot on. And then some of them are like GPS locations, their stock numbers and stuff, you know? GPS locations of where these girls were taken or I think found. One of them was.
that is so fucking
That's
disturbing.
ridiculous.
Wrong. Like that's some Criminal Minds shit.
Even there, I think I seen one where one was named after Ellen DeGeneres.
Speaking of her, she's in trouble now.
Oh yeah. They're going after her hard too.
Yeah, Ellen's going to be canceled for allegations of racism and mistreatment. Yeah, basically just being an abrasive fucking. Hey, Dory, you can't blame your memory on this one.
Oh my God, he didn't.
I was like, God damn it, Dory, what did you do? What did you do?
Adam Carolla has been saying for years just how bad, like he went on the Ellen show and her entire staff was walking around just completely on edge, and he said he could tell how bad she treated her staff. I'm talking, this is when her show was just in its infancy, first few years.
Damn.
But he's attended, just different functions with her and stuff through the years. I mean, he's always talked about like just how fake she is in front of the camera and what a just kind of tyrant she is behind the scenes. So I'm glad that's coming out finally.
Yeah.
She deserved that. I was hearing him talk about that 10 years ago,
Yeah, they're looping Oprah in there with them too.
Yeah.
Oprah, like 3 or 4 of those.
Can we please acknowledge the fact that Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson moved to Greece
In January.
Yeah, and they've become full citizens, haven't they?
Yep.
So yeah, they did that in January. It's now the end of July, and all this shit's coming to light now, and they've left it. He basically pulled a Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
He ghosted a long time ago.
Yep. I mean, this is just, and I don't. This is why now every time one of these fucks from Hollywood speaks up about something, I'm just like, no. I may not be a perfect human being, but ain't nothing I've done as bad as what you've done. That's for goddamn sure. I don't live.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was to say I don't live. I don't throw stones, but I'm just like, no, don't you be judging. Nope.
All of Hollywood.
Yeah, that is
Did y'all
true.
actually see the list?
I've seen one that was supposedly doctored, but I've seen a lot of the handwritten copies that they showed on Filthy Rich that have been on the internet in PDF form. Yeah, it's like I said, it shows Bill Clinton on 23. It's like 23 flights. I mean, there's you've got I think it was like Ben Affleck, Chelsea Handler, Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, there's Well, Teigen, John Legend, Chrissy Teigen deleted.
Oh, she's another one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she has. Well, just look at the tweets she deleted. I mean, they're just like creepy just disgusting, like dirty shit, like about like kids in these pageants. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, who actually? What? No normal human being thinks like that. I'm sorry, like that whole James Gunn deal. Like, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, dude. Those movies are hilarious. They are some of my favorite Marvel movies. But James Gunn is a very, very sick man. Like, he truly is. Like that whole, oh, I apologize. You know what, motherfucker? You've got some. Yeah, I don't know if he was on the list or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was.
I wonder if Meryl Streep was on the list.
I can't stand her.
She's the one that called Harvey Weinstein a god, so it wouldn't surprise me.
She also still says Roman Polanski did nothing wrong, and the girl was asking for it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I know the girl, the woman now, I mean, she's like, what, 50 or 60, has since said, I don't want to, whatever. But, I mean, it's still, Polanski was just a disgusting person. It's like, dude, that doesn't excuse what you did at that time. You know what I mean? Like, you've still done something very fucking wrong.
I went almost my entire life without realizing he was married to Sharon Tate, and that was their baby that Charles Manson killed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a Once Upon a Time.
Yep. That I read Helter Skelter in high school by Vincent Pugliosi, who was the prosecuting attorney. That's a great fucking book.
I only found that out maybe 2-3 years ago, and I'm like, I've heard the Manson story a bunch. I had never heard that aspect. This was before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and everything came out, but I had never heard that aspect of it. It just seemed a little off to me. I don't know.
Yeah, they had never mentioned his name.
Yeah, dude, I've studied like serial killers and like all that. Oh my God. My wife actually used to teach a class on that, on serial killers. But yeah, it's there's some very fascinating, and it's you look at them kind of like under a microscope now, like Ed Gein, those guys, I mean, the BTK, there's a lot of the methodology. I mean, look at like you said, like Jeffrey Dahmer. It's a very fascinating fucking, psyche that goes into thinking things like this are just what you do. You know what I mean? It's like, what kind of damaged upbringing, made you to go to these extremes? It's absolutely insane what the human mind is capable of.
Well, that's the thing too. They were both extremes in public. A lot of them, were like really class act people, and then like,
yep,
yeah.
Was it Dennis Rader? The Green River Killer, I believe it was. He was like a city inspector, and that's how he profiled his victims. I mean, it's crazy. There's like, well, there was one there was one in Michigan, and it was a very rare case because there are very, very few statistically serial killers are predominantly white males. And it was a black male serial killer, and I believe it was it was in Detroit, and I think it was the 70s or 80s. He was killing prostitutes, and it was like right because my dad was on the police department at the time, but he was working narcotics, so he never got to do anything with it. But his one of his partners that he came through the academy with was the head of the evidence technicians bureau for the entire Detroit police. So he got, he was working on this case, and my dad thought it would be really funny as when I was a kid, because I loved like RoboCop and Predator and all those, like horror movies and shit, to scare me out of liking these kind of movies, to show me fucking homicide photos at like, was I like 6 or 7 years old? So yeah, he's showing me him and his partner showing me fucking crime scene photos. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I liked horror movies even more after that. I'm like, well, fuck, this is real and that's fake. All right, fuck it, whatever. I mean, it was just like, wow. So like, I've always had like a macabre kind of like, so like as I said, like the serial killer thing, I've always been, and I took a lot of psych classes in college. I've always been interested in that. You know what I mean? It's like the human brain is a very fascinating thing, and what what lengths people will go through to, you know, do things. It's very fascinating.
If I don't, have any of y'all ever studied Jack the Ripper?
A little bit. I read a couple books when I was younger on him.
The latest thing I seen, this was a couple years ago, I was reading, is they think that he was somebody who was extremely wealthy, definitely extremely medically talented, possibly even savant level, as in a natural born surgeon. Just because looking at the types of injuries and wounds he caused, and he also probably was extremely large, judging by he was doing all that with a scalpel. I mean, cutting people open and all that kind of stuff with a scalpel, that takes some serious work. But extremely intelligent individual, probably the nicest person you ever met on the streets, you know. Probably a real social bug, and yet what was he doing at night? Cutting prostitutes open, tearing their insides out, and flinging them all over the yard.
Yep.
I mean, it probably was a real Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, aren't most serial killers like you said?
Well, a lot of them, you're high functioning like sociopaths, you know, which most of them are. You know, they're very, you know, they're high. You know, they have to be high functioning to maintain a normal, you know, 9 to 5 type, you know. And then, you know, they're not, you know, your spree killers, your unhinged, those are your psychopaths, you know, those are just, you know, they're just blind rage. But no, like the sociopaths, your serial killers are calculating. They, you know, they never do anything without measuring, you know, it like 3, 4, 5 times, and, you know, risk to reward. And yeah, it's a science. It truly is. That's why I always loved like movies like Silence of the Lambs and stuff like that, because you know, you look at like Hannibal Lecter and Buffalo Bill, the difference in styles of, you know, their methodology. It's such a stark contrast, because look at Hannibal Lecter and try to tell me he's really a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's so eloquent, and it's like, he has a very like disarming demeanor, which obviously played into his hand doing what he did.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs freaks me out just because of Anthony Hopkins, the way he the way he goes about his business. That just freaks me out. I have a hard time watching that.
Yep, I saw that movie when I was probably like 10 or 11 years old, and I was like, I had to watch it. I watched it a couple times. You know, I've probably seen a handful of times or better throughout my life now, and it's such a good movie. What was there? The sequel, you had Red Dragon. And what was Silence? There was the one with Julianne Moore. That was the second one, I think. Wasn't that? Yeah. And then you had the prequel one with Ralph Fiennes or Ray Fiennes or whatever his name is. But yeah, nothing would ever top the original, though. You know. Did any of you guys see the TV series Hannibal?
No,
I didn't.
I watched part of the first season, and then I just kind of lost it. But it's a very well done show, and it actually has a pretty good steady following. I mean, even it's, you know, I don't think it's on the air anymore. It hasn't been in years, but I still think it has like a kind of like a cult following. But yeah, the serial killer thing always interested me.
It fascinates me on what serial killers have been caught and which ones haven't been caught.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you got to look and go, did they get caught on purpose? Because a lot of these guys get off on the notoriety.
Because when they get caught, it's like the ultimate fame.
I like societies are built on a certain faith, you know. We all have to have faith in the society and stop at the red lights and not just attack someone on the street and take their money and just, you know. I like hearing the stories about the psychopath who murders people and eventually gets caught, and they put him in jail, and after so long,
Joker, man, that was perfect.
Yeah, but after so long, they end up releasing the guy on parole. Like, he convinces them that he's rehabbed, he's changed. They let him out, and he literally leaves the prison and goes to a coffee shop and murders someone else just to continue to poke holes in that faith, I guess, that the rest of us hold in society. But I mean, it's not funny someone's dying, but there is a speaking of Joker, there is a certain comedic element to that. Tumbleweed rolls by.
I haven't actually seen Joker, and it's primarily because I'm not a Joaquin Phoenix fan, and I'm gonna have to like kind of work myself up to it. Just because something about the way he acts,
I had to do the same, bro. I feel you.
Is it the hair lip? It's the hair lip, huh?
The only movie he's ever made that I liked was Ladder 49, and that one, that's just because I was a firefighter, and I mean, firefighters, we watch every firefighting movie. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody. Don't matter how bad they are. We got to do it. That movie had John Travolta, so I had to deal with that. But outside of that, I've never cared for any of his movies, and I'm like, oh, Joker's probably good, but Joaquin Phoenix, I gotta work myself up for that one.
Yeah. I remember when they said they casted him, I wasn't very excited about that. I'm not a big Joaquin Phoenix fan. But I mean, the movie was good. I'll give him that. It was probably the best movie of the year. So, 2019. This rate, 2022.
We're just gonna ignore 2020. 2020 didn't happen. It was all a figment of our imaginations. We're just gonna all go on about our business in 2021.
Do you know what gets me is that, like, all right, growing up, like the year 2000 seemed like a big deal, and then we got there and it was like cool, but then that next year for me, I guess, was like, geez, I wonder what things will be like in 2020, 20 years from now. And I mean, it's cool, we do have computers in our pocket, and there is all kinds of new innovations being introduced every day to the world, but yeah.
Hail Salvador.
Tell Sal and his porn voice to go somewhere else.
Yeah, damn you, Sal. I love you, you sexy bastard. So seriously though, no, god damn it, I'm retarded.
Sal made me lose my train of thought.
I know, I'm retarded. Sal Zoidberg does.
It's either Sal or drinking beer on an empty stomach, but I lost my train of thought.
Mine was the White Russian and the oil pen. I was somewhere outside of Barstow when the wax took over. I would soon find out that I couldn't stop here because it was backcountry.
Crazy fact about me that I know two of you don't know is I've never had alcohol in my life, so I can't relate to the alcohol on an empty stomach.
Holy shit, really?
Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations, man. That's a fucking accomplishment.
Well, a combination of what I've done in work-wise all my life, and just I don't know. I'm not one of the people that goes, I want to have a drink tonight. Yeah. It's never clicked in my brain.
Dude. That's admirable. I never fucking think any, like I said, I have people, I'm friends with a lot of people that are, have been recovering from, drinking problems and things like that, or, they just quit because they didn't necessarily have a problem, but they knew they weren't going to be able to handle it. And I respect the hell out of that.
I have an addictive personality, so I know better.
Oh, I'm the same. I'm much the same way, which is a very yeah. But see, I don't like. I had a Caucasian at the start of the show tonight. I used to drink wine. I don't really that much anymore. Like I was on vacation. I'm not gonna lie. I killed 14 beers in my kayak the other day, but I didn't have my kid. He was with grandma and grandpa, and I was floating in my kayak. I was getting stoned and I was enjoying myself, and I drank 14 fucking beers and still got out at the dock perfectly fine and hauled my goddamn boat up the hill because I've done it a million times and it's just muscle memory at this point. But man, it was relaxing. But no, man, I don't ever fucking, I like I said, I respect the hell out of that. I can't not. I like it. I enjoy it. I'm Russian, comrade. Vodka's like water to me, okay? I see potato, I think vodka.
I see potato, I think Well, I think many things, because potatoes are God's sign that He loves us.
You're thinking spud gun.
Hey, it's all fun and games until somebody gets hit in the head with a spud.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
hilarious.
I'm an Irishman who never drinks. That's not good.
Oh, Jesus.
That means something's broken on the inside.
There's anger issues there.
There's something there. I don't know what, but we've yet to find out. I just know this: when I look at a potato, I feel love.
I'm growing peppers and tomatoes. I have a planter box. I was just like, I couldn't commit to like a full garden because I don't really have the soil for it here, and I'm moving anyway. So, but yeah, I got like a planter box. I'm growing some peppers and tomatoes. I'm like, now growing up, we always had a garden because like I said, I grew up in the country, and we always had like a big fucking garden. My parents used to can vegetables and shit like that, which was fucking delicious, except for beets, because being of the background that I am, my mother made me eat fucking borscht. And she learned that lesson the hard way, that I will not be forced to eat borscht. And yeah, so to this day, I cannot stand or the smell or beets. I haven't eaten a beet since I was like 7 years old. Like I said, I just turned 40. And yeah, I'm like, no, I refuse. It's like one of those things where, and I think Tony, you and I have had this discussion about when people are like, you're like, I don't like that food. You know, you politely decline when somebody offers you something. Well, you just haven't tried mine yet. And you're like, hey man, no, I know what the fuck I like and I don't like. Well, just try it. Dude, did I just fucking tell you I don't want to try it? You know what I mean? It's like, no disrespect.
Get your fucking meatloaf out of my face, bitch.
Yep. Oh, look at this. Salvador's laying down the compliment. He says, you are now known as Admirable Tiberius.
Coming from such a fine gentleman as himself, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Here's another one. He says, and you're not missing much. I cut the hooch off 2 years ago. Still struggling with the nicotine though. That one's
yeah. Hard.
That's difficult.
Yeah.
I see a potato. I wonder, where did this mirror come from? And he says, can't turn down pierogies and latke though. Oh, dude, no.
Pierogies, oh my God.
Okay, so my mother is, like I said, we're like Russian, Jew, Polish, Hungarian, and Ukrainian. And yeah, so I'm just a mutt. So my mom makes these fucking pierogies. I mean, these things are to die for. I'm not that good at making them. I can make them, but they're nowhere near as aesthetically pleasing as hers. But I can make them, like hand roll the dough, like from scratch and everything. It's very fucking difficult. And those little pierogi cutters they sell in the stores do not fucking work. Let me tell you what. But latkes, I have that fucking down. I've worked. Oh yeah, and Egyptian. That's right. For my one listener, I am Egyptian too. I have one guy, because I'm Admiral Tiberius knows. But yeah, I have one guy who insists that I am not white, and I will turn my camera on for just a moment. Wait, God damn it, what the hell's going on over here?
Every time Pete says he's Egyptian, I have the image of Pete sitting in a chair being fanned.
I would
and telling people, build me upside down triangles. I want upside down triangles now. I
would not mind. I want I want that, but no, I'm very. I mean, I have I can pass for. I've been mistaken for Puerto Rican. It's Puerto Ricans. It's like Russell Crowe. Hey, West Puerto Ricans, they like a fight, don't they? I'm Russell Crowe, and this is fighting around the world. No, but I'm white. I promise you. You should see me dance. Actually, I can actually dance for a white. It's pretty fucking scary. I've sea walked before, which is fucking hilarious. I'm like, you can't. I'm like, oh yeah, watch this. I was drunk. I'm like, I'll do it. Now I'm like, no, I'm 40. I can't do that anymore. My knees won't let me do that no more.
Speaking of serial killers, I got one more. I'm curious if y'all ever heard of.
Yeah.
Name is Pedro Lopez from South America.
No.
He raper, sex offender, possibly upwards of 300 victims over the course of about 12 to 15 years.
Holy shit.
His mother was a prostitute. He's never been caught. I mean, he was caught, but here's the thing. In 1998, he was released from a psychiatric wing of a hospital on $50 bail to await his murder trial. He then fled and has never been heard from, seen, or since.
That's
upwards
fucking insane.
upwards of 300 victims, and they just said, "Here's $50. Yeah, so go await your murder trial." And he decided to hightail it.
He's like, I'm out. I'll see ya. See you when I see ya.
See,
I know what's going to happen at my trial, so toast.
it's those kind of stories that I enjoy because you know what? If they let him go, then they deserve not to prosecute him or throw him in jail. You know, he deserves his freedom if they let him go.
What y'all think about the Zodiac Killer? That's a famous one. I just thought of. My brain just clicked on that one.
Was that Richard Ramirez?
I thought that was Ted Cruz.
That's
Ted
I
Cruz.
had never even heard of the Zodiac Killer until they started like saying it was Ted Cruz. But do you know the like what's his story or whatever?
Operated in California. I just pulled it up just to be sure. In the late 60s and the 70s, committed murders in Northern California. He's credited with 7, but rumors that it could have been up to 37. Of the 7 confirmed, 4 were men, 3 women between 16 to 29. He would send letters and threats to local newspapers. The letters would include cryptograms, ciphers, only one of which has ever been deciphered. They closed the case in 04, but reopened it in 07.
That sounds
Damn.
like Ted Cruz.
You know, on Twitter, he actually runs with it.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
runs
he-
with it. He actually changed his profile picture to the sketch artist of the Zodiac Killer for a while, and he has fun with it. He runs with it. I said, why not? I mean, it's not like they can prove it. And I mean, if you've gotten away with this long, I applaud you, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
the,
I was thinking the Night Stalker was Richard Ramirez.
there was the whole thing on Twitter too with Jimmy Kimmel, where he was like making fun of a tweet Ted Cruz made about playing basketball, and asked Twitter if anyone can provide me with a picture of Ted Cruz playing basketball. So Cruz posted one of him playing basketball in college, and it ended up with them playing a friendly game for charity and whatever. But it turned into a whole thing, and Ted Cruz ended up whooping Jimmy Kimmel's ass at basketball. Pretty awesome.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel can be assaulted by a horde of baboons, and I would not shed a tear.
Oh hell no. He's a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah.
He's another one. He's been over to the island. He's been on the Lolita Express. Fucking.
Meanwhile, he's crying about his son on his late night show.
Yeah, no shit.
What was that on the Boondocks show when they did the To Catch a Predator?
I don't remember.
You never seen that?
I don't think I've seen that one. No.
On the Boondocks, they did a mock of To Catch a Predator. You know, with Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
Chris Hansen walks in the house, and the pedophile walks in the house, and Chris Hansen says, "What are you doing at this house with this little boy and no parents?" And the pedophile's like, "Oh, I didn't come to touch no little boys. I come to touch you, Chris Handsome. You heard what I called you? Chris Handsome." He's like, "So either you gonna give me that booty the easy way, or you gonna give it to me the real easy way?" And then Chris Hansen's like, "Cut the cameras," and he's like, "Oh, give me that booty. Don't make me damage it."
Don't make me damage it. Chris Handsome. Why do you have vodka, duct tape, and condoms in the bag?
Good time.
Why are there fireworks? Fucking Star Wars action figure. Why is there fireworks, Rose Ticos, and Mike's Hard Lemonade in the bag?
Why is there a funny smelling rag on the dash?
Were you trying to catch EVS?
Oh my God.
EVS like Rose Ticos and pie? Yeah.
You got to get frogs to catch EVS.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh my God. So I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to think of this other who the hell was there? Another one. One of the others. You had I'm trying to think of like more famous serial killers here.
While you're thinking, Pete, I have one from my home state if you're interested.
Oh, absolutely.
Her name was Delphine Lollery from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
She was Louisiana socialite. She tortured and killed her slaves.
That was when they did American Horror Story about.
She married her third husband and took control of his estate after he mysteriously died himself. A massive fire at her plantation revealed a torture chamber where they had dozens of bodies. They found a 70-year-old cook that was trapped in the kitchen because she was chained to the stove. She started the fire. Some other people witnessed a 12-year-old girl fall off the roof of the estate to her death. They never charged her with murder. They only leveled fines against her. She fled to France, and that was it.
Yeah, that's Kathy Bates played her on American Horror Story.
Oh my God! Well, that's about perfect.
Yep. It was the Coven season. So season 3, I believe. Which I like that season. I think it gets a lot of hate, but
I'm about to go look that up now because I'm interested in seeing that.
yeah, it was it's obviously a much different spin on the character, but it was pretty cool. Especially knowing that you understand, you know the myth and everything. That's pretty cool. So yeah. But yeah, it was Kathy Bates, man. The full rear on about Schmidt lady and all. You know?
Did she break somebody's legs?
She fucking did some dirty shit though, man. She was cutting people in the basement of her fucking, because she had her house, and she would have like the people, the slaves she was torturing would be like in the basement level. And there was one that was like, it was Angela Bassett's like husband, and she was one of like the main witches. It's a really good season. Like I said, it has a very I like that season. It was good. So
I still can't believe what she did to old boy.
Oh, in Misery?
I know he went and killed Jaws, and then he went to the mountains for a vacation, and look what she did to him. It was terrible.
Yep. That fucking snapped them ankles of that goddamn brick, man. That shit was fucking savage.
Should never have left the ocean.
Should have stayed on my ship. Wasn't it James Caan?
Yeah.
James Caan. Yeah, James Caan. He was in The Godfather. Remember, he was Sonny. And I'm not even a Godfather fan because he's the one that got shot to death in the toll booth.
Well, better than getting shot to death on the toilet.
This is true. Like John Travolta and fucking Pulp Fiction.
The only part of Pulp Fiction I like is the Ving Rhames scene, and that's it.
I love that movie. I'm not gonna lie. I love that movie's badass.
I'm gonna go get a man with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch.
Yep, we're gonna go to work on the homeboy here. Yeah, that fucking that was straight just fucking savagery. Where's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Bruce Willis had the gall to ask that man, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Would you really ask somebody that after what they just been through?
Yeah. Am I okay? I love Ving Rhames. Am I okay?
Not 2 seconds ago, I had this look on my face like, kill me.
Yeah. Let me fucking ask you something. You tell me, am I okay?
Hey, let me share my screen one last time and show you an article I found.
Absolutely.
All right. Look at this. FBI confirms that man who confessed to killing 93 women is America's deadliest serial killer.
Holy shit.
And it is between 1970 and 2005. He's been behind bars since 2012. He had to draw pictures of some of the girls.
I was going to say, somebody killed those Picassos there. Damn.
Yeah, that's proven victims 50, possible 93. He was an ex-boxer who preyed on drug addicts.
Oh,
damn. Where was that? Tennessee? It's crazy. Because I've never heard of him. So I think it's systematic that we hear about Ted Bundy and not him.
Can I have a theory? Throw a theory at you why we don't hear about these guys anymore?
Why?
It's because fiction is worse than reality.
Yep.
Back in the day, serial killers were like the worst thing you can imagine.
Yep.
And that would be front page news. Nowadays, people aren't even bothered by the idea of somebody. They see worse stuff on Netflix.
Yeah. You're desensitized.
So if
And-
somebody killed 100 women over 10 years, whatever. I seen that on Netflix last week. Whatever.
Yeah, there's also like, I don't think that, like, if people are murdered, yeah, we should remember the victims and we should be saying their names, but we shouldn't glorify the evil that did it, I guess. And it's usually, when it is reported, it's their name that's repeated over and over, and not so much the victims.
That's it. Everybody remembers the fucking, the killer.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. That's their mental, their end game is that fame and notoriety.
I mean, they had that news anchor kill herself on live TV back in the 80s because she was sick and tired of how the news agency kept showing blood and guts and all this stuff on TV every night. And right before she did it, she said something to the effect of, in keeping with Channel 5's tradition of showing you the latest in blood and guts and death, you're about to witness the first live suicide.
Jesus.
Supposedly the film is out there somewhere.
I've encountered some. I'm not gonna talk about this on air. Never mind. I was gonna say, yeah, I've seen some things, but yeah, let me tell you what, shit like that is out there. It's fucking disturbing, to say the least. Yeah. Yeah, very. But like I said, I have a thing for the macabre, so you know what I mean. If I gotta watch somebody get off, hey, I'm just kidding.
I like the macabre too, but
we've all watched Faces of Death.
Yep.
Hey, look, this box has a skull on it. I'm gonna rent this.
Here's a question for y'all.
What's up?
If you this was actually a movie, but I'm moving it up a little bit on the notch. If somebody gave you a box and inside there was a button, and if you press the button, you get, let's say, $10 million. But when you press the button, 10 random people around the world will die. And you, after they're dead, you get a folder in the mail with their names, all their information on it, and how they died and everything. You still gonna hit the button?
Just as one of my guiding principles, and even if it's around the world and they're not Americans, I do believe everyone at least should have certain inalienable rights. And as bad as that $10 million is needed, or not even needed, but wanted, no, I don't have a right to take anybody's life unless they're, it's in self-defense, obviously. So I couldn't do it.
What about you, Pete?
I'm morally struggling right now. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I have a pretty decent moral compass. I mean, that bitch veers off course every now and then. Over the course of 40 years, it happens from time to time. But I mean, I have it in me to take out 10 random people for $10 million financial gain? Well, a knee-jerk reaction to that is $10 million to somebody who's never had $10 million. Well, absolutely. But when you think about the impact, it's basically like throwing a pebble in a pond. When you know how it affects the people around them, not just their family, but their acquaintances and their friends. And and knowing that and having that kind of reasoning ability, I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm too much of an MBS.
And pay for the funeral. No, because you never know if it's going to be somebody close to you.
Yeah.
You end up paying for a family member's funeral.
Yep.
That's just sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good.
I was just gonna say that there's a movie that's kind of based off of, but I kind of ratcheted it up to 10 because if it was one person, that's a lot easier. Even 5 people. If you ratchet it up to 10, though, that takes it to a whole nother level of I don't know if I could do this.
That was Josh Hartnett and Cameron Diaz.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
I was gonna say if there was a button where I could make 10 random people shit themselves for $100, I'd do that.
I'd press that button every 5 minutes.
If I could play the brown noise on a recorder. Such a frequency.
Just imagine being some random Indian guy walking down the streets in India, and all of a sudden you just have an explosion, and you just start looking up and cursing whatever god you believe in.
We could do like a montage of just like people from all around the world shitting themselves. You have like people in like Chechnya, Burma, or as it's now known, Myanmar, Wales, Australia. Crikey, I shit myself. The fucking, like we said earlier, the Congo. I don't know how to speak Congolese.
Some model going down the runway in Paris.
Oh, that would be amazing. She's just like doing that little power turn, kicks her hip out, and all of a sudden just there it is, just all over the fuck. Because it's always like a white lit up floor, dude. It'd just be like people in the front row are getting fucking pink eye left and right, like bang, bang. Jesus Christ, did we just devolve into EVS? We're doing poop jokes now.
But we haven't fallen to an EFAP level yet.
No. I was listening to one of those earlier. I'm like, okay, do not become this. Do not become this.
As somebody once told me, the French Revolution is what happens after 5 minutes of the EFAP.
I think that's pretty true. Oh my God. Franchise says 10 evil people. Well, hell yeah. I mean, I'd pick like, let's see. Oh my God, that'd be fun. I'd just like, let me see the flight log again. Let me see the menu.
Yeah.
I'd be like flipping coins. I'd be like making them plead their cases to me.
I'd be referencing between Congress and the flight log, like, and my bank account.
Yeah.
And if I can choose the method of death, that's even better.
Oh yeah. Yep. I'd be like vicious, dude. I'd be like Jigsaw with that shit.
Hold on. In Minecraft, of course. In Minecraft, I'm saying if there was a box with a button.
That would. I want to see that. I want to see that end up on the cartoon. And my kid was watching the cartoon. I'm listening to the voice. I'm like, please tell me. Oh no, it's fucking Patton Oswalt, son of a bitch.
Oh shit.
I want Tom Hanks to be dropped in the middle of the Congo and chased down by a horde of pygmies.
Yeah.
And then violated.
Man, Big was such a big movie of my childhood, dude. That sucks,
I know.
man. And he always
The Burbs.
And even then, he was always a little weird. I thought, just a little. But I don't know. He just seemed like geeky but likable. But I don't know. Damn it, Tom Hanks.
I should have known that whenever we all found out about his friendship with Martin Short, that something was off.
I tell you, man, it's like I was thinking about that. Like, think about the movie Tom Hanks been in. All like Forrest Gump. I mean, he's been in fucking, like you said, Big, The Money Pit. I mean, probably like Forrest Gump would be one of his most memorable.
Okay, Jenny, and I'll mow the grass and raise the AIDS, baby.
I mean,
God.
I mean, that's real life, Tom Hanks is fucking, he's on the Lolita Express and shit now. I wonder if his kid is like him too, like Colin. You know what I mean?
Well, he's just as quiet and weird.
He is. He absolutely is. Every role he plays is like a Fed. He plays a lot of like federal agents and shit like that. And he's always very like quiet and weird.
Right.
I'll tell you one name you aren't going to see on that list. Clint Eastwood.
Or Rick Moranis.
Yeah, or Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. Yep, Dave is like so anti fucking Hollywood. It's amazing.
Or James Woods.
They
Yeah.
wouldn't let James Woods within 100 yards of the airport.
No.
Yeah.
No, James Woods is, I knew I loved him in John Carpenter's Vampires for a reason, and after the advent of Twitter, it became clear.
You know, I was listening to Tim Pool earlier, and I don't know, it's a bit off subject. My bad, guys. Never mind.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good.
I tell you another name that I could see on that list and I wouldn't care would be Gary Busey. Because Gary Busey wouldn't even know where he was going. They'd be like, "Come on, Gary." And Gary Busey would be just like, "Okay, I'm coming," and wouldn't have a clue what was going on. He'd be chasing butterflies.
Gary and Jake Busey. I got Kyle Brenner's nut. I'm glad somebody got the Tomcats reference. That fucking movie. Oh God. Okay, that's I think we should probably bring this one to a close here, though. This has been I think this has been a great first episode. What do you guys think?
That was pretty
Very
good.
much so. Very much so.
We'll move this around. Like I said, I just kind of host on a whim tonight. Normally we're going to do this over on Tony's channel. So if you're listening now or in the future and you haven't subscribed to Tony ToneDef yet, get your ass over there, and I will update the description to the video, and I'll have Tony's information, Twitter handle, and all that, along with everywhere you can reach us at the Place to Be Reviews in the description. So what do you got? You got anything coming up on the channel, Tony?
As of now, I'm taking a bit of a hiatus. Went through a little remodel of the room, got my workstation set up, then I started a new job, so I'm just kind of settling in there, but I do plan on getting some more content out soon, especially starting with this show, which I thank you for hosting tonight, Pete, and also for the plug and the description info. But yeah, I'm going to plan on getting some single videos out, hopefully here in the near future.
Excellent, man. Excellent. I've got one actually coming out in probably about 20 minutes after the stream's over. I finished editing it as we were speaking. As I've told Tony and Admiral Tiberius earlier, I got into a huge fucking fight with my wife because I was so fucking pissed off because I worked for 2.5, 3 hours on this video and the whole fucking thing got erased. And,
Oof.
yeah, I was fucking livid. So I had to go back and my backup failed. So I had to go back and I had all the clips saved. I just had to re-record voice tracks is what it was. So, and I had to lay everything back together. And I mean, you guys know I edit the shit out of my video. So it was like, and I wasn't happy with something. I was like, I just put it out. So it's getting ready to go out. That'll be out tonight. That is about Zack Snyder and him not being the one who chose Joss Whedon for the reshoots on Justice League. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. We know that's coming next year on HBO Max.
Very excited.
I am. I really am to finally see Zack Snyder's actual fucking vision get played out the way it was supposed to is very exciting for me because I like Justice League. So not to get too far into entertainment right now, but this has been the first episode of The Unknown Regions. I have been Etep Okuyan from the Place to Be Reviews. I have been here with all of yous. And as I leave you this night, I say this to you.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
So thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate you one and all. Remember, if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow.